Hey everyone, Corrie here, coming in to do the weekly channel message. This is June the 7th, 2022. For me, it's a day of blessings. It's my granddaughter's birthday, but some of those blessings have also not always been not always the blessings that keep on giving. And she is one of those beautiful blessings that keeps on giving, but many blessings are not. Many blessings are the ones that pull us back and take us away from the places where we have been. So I want to just say this: if you're in your head today and you're like trailing back through every sappy, sad story, every wrongdoing, every sense of, if you're falling into victim to your past experiences, to your own misery today, then I'm telling you, it is in the energy. And that leads us into our personal hell. And it leads us into assumptions, making stories and creating stories about others. And we're not here to create stories about what we think others are thinking, or playing out the narrative of what we believe others will be doing to us, but it's not really happening. So we do have a lot of that trickster energy that's coming back in. There is the war energy that feels like it's just playing through. And I mean, war with the planets, war with the energy out there, not just always the war that's up on Earth, because there's always those battles that are up on Earth. When you have people trying to play God on Earth, when you have people trying to be greater than God on Earth, then that's when we run into those difficulties and problems. And when we create a narrative of hate. And so I've been writing a blog, trying to write two blogs I've been trying to write, and one should be so simple. And one blog has truly been about living divinely dignified, and stepping into that divinely dignified energy of placing my life in the hands of God consciousness, and feeding back in new beautiful energy into that subconscious. Whereas the self that is writing this other blog, I am writing about the blog of don't be me, be blessed that you are you. And it is the journey of the crippling hurts that are laid upon you, that we lay upon other people when we have a narrative, an expectation, and a story of who we think they are and how we think they should be. So in my book, More Than Existing, that is one big story that I speak of, and it's the ownership and responsibility for our lives. It's my journey. This is the first of 5 books that comes in this series. And so in the book, I speak about, the relationship with one parent and being in that position of, this is who she should be. This is how she should be. She's my mother. She should be she should be wiser than this, or she should be, but never ever stopping until I could hit this level of spiritual and emotional maturity where I could see the reflection of so many other women that I would help. But my mother, I expected her to be different because she's my mother. And so that energy, that story that we play out, will always lead us being in a personal hell in our mind. And we'll never be able to be it's hard to, not never, but it's hard to be in healthy relationships when those thoughts is what you're feeding through, and they are coming into they're stepping into your reality. And so they materialize. And then they materialize in arguments, fights, misunderstandings, and wars in your own head of judgment. And so if you do something good for somebody, if you do something nice, and then you're angry at yourself for doing something nice, and you're telling yourself all these stories, then why are you telling yourself those stories? Where is that coming from? If you have those narrative of the roles of, well, that's my mother, that's my father, that's my boyfriend, that's my girlfriend, that's my husband, that's my wife, that's my partner. And they should be doing this, and they should be doing that. And why should they be doing all of those things? Why is it their responsibility to fulfill your emotional needs, to fill your cup, to make sure that you're content, even at the cost of their happiness and of their own personal journey, and them having to travel their own personal journey? So this energy and this energy that's coming up is playing out in that place. And so even myself, finding myself really struggling with thinking, with that thought of, I meet so many spiritual teachers who are glowing holiness. And I don't come from that place. I'm from a different level of the consciousness where I break through the war zones, right? I break through the war energy, and I have to, it's kind of being that thought that, loving and heavenly, some of the biggest things that God, what God is a part of, or what, people blame God for everything, but what God is a part of is not always soft, gentle, and beautiful. So the narrative of the energy that this is how we should be, or this is how a specific person should be, it is crippling to us, to you, to whoever it is telling themselves a story, because you'll be in comparison. And so that's really huge with us today, to be aware of it, to catch it, to not to allow yourself to be it. And I'm like, God made me this way. And so the roles that we play, we're never going to meet the expectations of the unmet emotional needs of the stories that even our children create, even the people in our lives create. You can never meet the expectations of a friend who has an emotional attachment and a story to what kind of friend or what kind of person you should be, what kind of partner you should be, what kind in any relationship that you should be. And it's because they are trying, they have a memory bank of sadness, of disappointment, of hurts in their view, the way they've seen it, the way we all see it, the way we all see it, the way we all observe it, the way that we receive it, the way that it affects us, because it also plays out based on what archetype role we're playing. Are we playing the victim? Are we playing the savior, the fixer, and then the one who's always being needed? And if somebody's not needing you, then what's happening? So today, it's kind of like snap out of it. Snap out of that energy. If you find yourself going there, stop it, nip it in the bud, and just say, I'm taking responsibility for my emotions today. This is not me. This is not my truth. And of course, this comes with some very advanced work. Not saying this is easy or simple. What I'm saying is, if you've done no spiritual work, if you've done no healing work on the journey, then, you're taking baby steps. So the fact that you're just listening and you're hearing this, now your subconscious has just been fed some new information that may be of service to you, that when those situations arise, you're going to hear them and you're going to be like, oh, I remember this came through Corrie. And yeah, I get this. Okay, I'm going to check in with this emotion. I'm going to check in with this feeling, because the energy that we have right now is about us being able to move forward and accept the blessings. And so doors closing, awareness of truth, the awareness of our own emotions ruling and running our lives is huge in connecting with it, and not to be in more self-sabotage or self-destruction, but to be in a new awareness of new truths. And then there are new truths we can't deny ourselves. It's like, oh yeah, I did. I mean, I really expected my mother to be the mother that I still wanted her to be when I was 4, 5. And only when I stopped beacon off, only when it was something reflected back to me, and I thought, oh my God, I can't believe they did this. And I can't believe they would say that I was this, or I can't believe, and I'm like, I was never that to that person. I don't know where they got that story. I don't know, but that's how people perceive it. That's right. So everybody is seeing, viewing everything differently, even these messages. Not two people will ever receive this message the same. So everyone you're in relationship with will be in a different experience, and you're all experiencing differently based upon upon the emotional body. And so when we look back to the blessings and where we're going in the blessings this week, is that, sometimes the blessings is in a total fucking dismantling. And I've been there myself. Like, it's been happening all like months. For 4 years, I have been there. And so this is kind of me coming into, I call it the fifth, like I'm into the 5th year, going into that, hitting the 5 mark of grief. And so when people say, oh, I wish to be you got all this, or you do this and you do that, I wish I had your gifts. And I'm like, Stop wishing to be me and be blessed that you are you. Because I've just traveled through a blessing. And a blessing was the pain in my body that stopped me in my tracks. It was the reflection of something back up on me that made me stop in the tracks and rewrite my book, rewrite and revisit, to really look back in and to see my own actions, my own behaviors, why I was crippled, why my back is where it is, why my body held so much, why all of this. And so these 4 years of dismantling, of grieving an old life, of moving forward, but still thriving, still and recognizing the power of moving beyond survival and into thriving. So it's like I was pulling myself through. And in these past few weeks, there was big things that I had to stop and turn around and face. And you may be in that situation. That is the energy. That's where we are. And I don't get to escape that energy. I'm human like the rest of you. And neither does anyone else, no matter how great they are or how great they portray themselves to be. Don't be fooled by social media. Don't be fooled by news, by celebrities. Celebrities are not the characters they play. They're not even who they represent on the red carpet. They're kind of not even the dirty little secrets that come out about them, because there's someone else's opinions and someone else's view and their experience. So you never know who people really are. And you don't even know who you are. And so it's an opportunity to be able to know that some of these blessings are about allowing us to kind of take the armor off, to dismantle, to let go of those narratives and those stories and those hates and those judgments and those criticisms, and release them and stop being so. If you're not divided with yourself, you will not be divided with the world. There is nothing any worse than that secret life. And that having to live in a secret life, having to hide the parts of you, having to deny yourself, because then you're also then still angry at a lot of people. And the narcissistic tendencies have gotten so out of control, so overboard. The all about me, all about me, all about me. When we talk about healing and we talk about coming into this energy of healing, we're not talking about that it's all about us. We're saying that what we want you to recognize is that you are equally as valuable and worthy of the same love, attention, and the light that you want everyone else to have, or that you give out, but that there's a priority there. But it don't give you a God-given right to place such judgment and criticism up on another, to spew out your angers, your suppressed energy, your attitudes. And so sometimes when somebody steps up and steps in and says, what the F are you doing? I mean, that's a blessing. You may take it as a criticism, like, what? Me? But it's like, no, you need to hear those things sometimes, and they're important. And there's a lot of beautiful truths that starts to unfold. So the blessings may be a mixed bag of blessings moving forward with June. It may be a mixed bag of beautiful blessings. And so we can't get into the beautiful garden. We can't see our beautiful, homes that we exist in here if we don't clear the clutter. And you have to clear the clutter to get there. And so when people want me to give them a quick fix message, like, oh, this is going to fix my life, I made this choice, now my life is going to be fixed. No, that's bullshit, because you're still taking all that old energy and you're going to take it into your next future. So your next future is going to look just like that. It is stopping. If you're leaving a relationship, don't freaking run to the next relationship. It is the worst thing in the world you can do, because you need to bring the right person into the next relationship. And when you bring the right person, you're going to bring the right person into your life. If you bring the wrong person in, you got to bring the right person into a relationship, even with your parents. You got to bring the grown ass adult that you are today into a relationship with your parents. You got a 90-year-old parent and you're still like, they're still responsible because you didn't give them a car at 16. I mean, I know there's way more extreme things, way more extremes. But what is holding you hostage when those people leave this earth, you will still have those, because it is the spirit of your story. It's like your energy. That's your story. That's you. That's not them. So that sense of forgiveness and not forgetting, and moving forward, moving into being the person that you can be in your higher self in all relationships, is going to be an important part of rebuilding the strength and the integrity of the society and the world that we want to build. And I know these messages may seem like they're poof out there, but if you sit and listen to them even 2 or 3 times, you're going to get what this really means. Because that whole, is what's going to happen in my future. I mean, I love doing it with people. I love going there with people, but what's going to happen in my future? If I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen in your future, you're going to miss getting to your future, because that's all you're going to see, and you're going to miss many opportunities in getting to your future. It's about being able to repair that instinctual self, the nervous system, how we respond, how we react, and being able to embrace the feelings and I want to feel more. This is my future. That's what I want. And if it has to be with other people, then bring them on. Bring them on. If it has to be with other people, bring them forth. If it has to be with people who feel the same way I feel, bring it on. We can have different views and different thoughts and different opinions, but we can restore that sense of integrity in our future and in our future self. So as I'm writing out this blog and I'm working through the blog, and of course, I have to wait till channel steps in, because if I'm in there, my ego will be all over the place in blame games. And so, and by blaming, I mean blaming me, not anyone else. I have a tendency to be extremely hard on myself. And that is one of my greatest human weaknesses that I've had to work on, that I am consistently catching. And I catch the language, I catch the actions, I catch the behavior, and I stop myself in the moment, in the tracks. And I go there. I go to those places. And when I go to those places, it's amazing the little tiny things that are in us that keep us there. And so as I'm writing that through, and it's like, what looks like has been a years of accomplishing a lot of great things, like the books, the programs, the schools, is I've been accomplishing way more that is way more valuable to me than that. But it has come at some really big cost. And I fight that journey to stand, to walk, to do those things. And now I'm going to be entering into a massive back surgery and a healing that I'm going to have to walk through, because I'm making the choice to choose that I can either stay in pain, or I could let the fear stories of, oh my God, I'm not having back surgery. This could go wrong. That could go wrong. But what if something goes right? What if something goes right? You're never going to get that 100% back, but miracles can happen. But what if you get 30% better quality of life? Would you rather sit with the 30% less and complain, or would you rather succeed with the 30% more? And bringing that into perspective. So it is our perspectives, our ability to perceive, to see, to observe, to bear witness to our own actions, behaviors, and recognizing that blessings can be beautiful, glowy, shiny blessings, or they can be blessings that really make us have to put the damn work in. And so miracles happen, blessings appear, and then the miracle happens when we take the action that needs to be taken. And that's the energy that we're in. So we are going to pull some cards on this one and see what the cards give us for this. No, we are. So we are going here. We're going here with the angels. And so this is Radley Valentine's deck of the Angel Wisdom Tarot. And we're going to go there. So the bottom of the deck, the underlying, for this week is, manage your resources wisely. So managing your resources wisely really, truly also comes into managing your energy, your own power source, your energy that's within you. Don't be expelling energy in those assumptions, expectations, angers, and frustrations where you don't need to go. It is not going to serve you. So it's Archangel Michael that's coming in, and Archangel Michael says, you know what? Sometimes when you're in experiences where there is, choices and decisions about what we're going to say, how we're going to say it, really truly call in the angels, call in our guides to say, guide my voice, guide my message, guide my language. And so when I do that, and my voice comes out just like this, and the messages come out just like this was some of my challenges, because I'm like, well, how come other people get to talk so sweet and so cute and so nice and so gentle? And they laughed at me and said, yeah, you're not that kind of gentle. So it's the same type of thing. It's like, but my love is gentle. It's like, but that sense of self. And so use those resources wisely instead of being so reactive, so responsive, so placing that judgment, to be very aware of what you are doing, because, we're walking into new land. We're walking into new energy. We're laying out a new plan. And so, loyal, dedicate, protective, and see this beautiful knight right here in his pentacles. He's got his partner by his side. That horse will ride him into. Horses are the greatest healers. So we have this innate abilities, these virtues that exist within us that are connected into that angelic realm. And that angelic realm, the spirit realm, the council, the team that are there on our behalf is, they're loyal to us. Our guardian angels, they're loyal to us. They are loyal to a fault, and they want us to be, but they're loyal to our true self. They're loyal to what they are here to protect, and that is our soul. That is the essence of the soul self. Now they'll let the human do whatever it needs to do, but their mission is to always to direct you back to yourself. So when you feel that after effect of, oh yeah, I stood up for myself and I told them this and I told them that, blah, blah, and you have to tell everybody you told them that. And then when you're all alone and nobody's looking, you're like this exhausted energy, is because, you were defending that sense of the shadow. The truth is like, I would not have engaged in that. That's that whole need to defend. And if we know we are defended, we know we are protected, we know we are loved, we don't have a need to be doing that. And so there's a lot of different ways to see things that are coming up. But to field, so, what do we want to plant for our future? What seeds do we want to plant? What do we want to put into our future? How do we want to invest into our future relationships? How do we want to be in our future relationships? And it starts with knowing that there's a healer within that is saying to us that it is time to really step into the healing before you jump into something else, before anything else takes place. And so this is the 5. This is Archangel Shamiel coming in, and talk about, being very focused on the negative. You're not seeing the full cups that are back here. It's like the angels are handing you in these full cups. Like it's everything you need is right here. But if you keep looking back, at what they didn't give or what you didn't have, and you can't see, right? So you're looking at something that's not even present. What is present? What is here right now? And so you're missing out on the fact that the blessing is often like inside the shell. Like the blessing is like in layers, right? So the outer shell of the blessing, the reflection of the blessing is, we got to do this to get to that. So the seed, when you see the seed, it has a hard protection shell. And it's when we give the water and we provide the nutrients to it, does it start to sprout up. And when it starts to sprout and it starts to grow, and then the earth wraps around it, and the earth becomes its stability, but it is fragile and something can still step on it. So it needs a clear space and free from all of the all of the winds and the, the downpours of rain, so that it can stay protected until it's strong enough to stand up on its own. And then it will grow into what it needs to. But first we got to see the blessing. We got to see there's something there that's working on our behalf. And so slow down on the energy, slow down. And then we have the smoke and mirrors. And the smoke and mirrors is Myra, and she's coming in and she's like, this is where we talk about that. Don't be me, be you. So if you look closely at, and my cards don't look exactly like this anymore. When they come out, this is going to be white. This is pink. This has the mother, maiden, crone, depending on the suit, and they're white around the edges. But when you look into the hearts and the circles, they actually have prints. So just like our thumbprint, just like that fingerprint of us, it is unique. It is authentic to us. So the smoke and mirror is the illusions of the truth of what we think we're seeing. So even when you look in the mirror and you point out your flaws, you can't see the beauty, you can't see the blessing that was placed upon earth. You are the miracle, you are the blessing, you are the opportunity, you are where the portal exists, you're where the universe exists. Like so many things exist within you. But first you got to fall into you. First, you got to just use your print to get into your secret garden in your place. Be still, be silent, and be quiet, and get to know who you are. And the bottom of the deck for this one brings divine feminine sisterhood, being that support, being that love. And so, one can hold up the fort, and one can be that essence of the mothership, so that others can fill and flow and give to each other and give back. And so finding our way, sister, brother, whatever we want to word it, but these are my cards. So it was my journey. And so this is the divine feminine. And, we are the creators, and our divine feminine is about creating. What story you're creating? What story are you living in? What are you seeing? All the negative? Are you not seeing the blessings? Are you not seeing the opportunities that come from experiences that arise? And you may need to stop. So in the healing journey and healing this instinctual self and the nerve endings is, and having the energy, you probably only got so much energy in a run of a day. And it's like, I can't hear anything else. I can't process anymore. And that's all I have. And be okay with that. It's okay to say, I'm now full. Let me recharge. Let me absorb this. Let me process, instead of feeling like you have to be obligated to keep pushing on. And then from the Shaman Oracle, I'll call it Baron Reed, and I'm sorry, I just had a mind blank. But they're on Collett's website. They're on Amazon. These witness, and this card came up last night in my live as well. And so being able to be a witness to the energy, to observe the energy, to look in at the energy and look in with such love. And so, it's the eyes that see, but if you let your God eye, your divine eye, your third eye, however you want to put it, if you let that eye see, if you let that eye look for you and show you, it will take you into the place of seeing this bigger spectrum of consciousness that it has the ability to access new information, new things that we can feed into the subconscious. So we stop living in the old narratives and the old stories. I wrote a quote. It was when I was creating my cards, and it never came out in the cards yet. I don't know why. It must be for another deck. And I just wrote about, when women or men or whoever, when you have a mother-father wound, or anything, if you have let's use that for example. If you have a mother-father wound, and you look at every single woman in your life as if they are your enemy, as if they're going to abandon you, as if they're going to hurt you, you will always be lashing back with that hurt, with that pain. You will be doing that constantly, because when one woman's hurt becomes your story, then every woman's, that you will lash it on to everybody. And you cannot see that you are doing it back to everyone else, because you will create some sort of drama, some sort of story in your head that something more is happening. When one person hurts you, not everybody is a reflection of the original hurt. Even if something and disagreement happens, it doesn't mean it's the same. It doesn't mean they intended the same. It doesn't mean they intended to hurt you. And you have to really look in. And that's where spiritual and emotional maturity comes in. That's why a lot of my work is now in emotional and spiritual consulting, helping to consult those parts of ourselves that truly need to be acknowledged, to turn around and face them, to not to run from them, so that we can create a much more beautiful world that we would like to live in. And so this witness is, you know, our guardians, our guides, our angels, they're witnessing us. They're observing our behavior and they're saying, if you only knew that it could be simpler. And coming from a place of love and light can be the change that we need to see. So in your relationships, wherever you are this week, in your relationship with yourself, be aware of this. How much energy do I have? What personal hell am I creating? What drama am I creating? What story am I telling myself that I'm convinced I got myself that it's true, that, may not be. Maybe it's more to do with me than it's to do with anyone else. And to acknowledge those things, to be aware of it. June is a month of blessings. And like I said, some blessings come. Like I said, I've been dragging my ass for 4 years through a challenging 4 years of my life to be able to embody, to clear out the clutter. It's like going to the dump every day, to clear out everything that takes up space in this home, in this energy, in this beautiful space of where the treasure of love and light exists within us all. And so clearing that out and moving beyond that and finding a way, finding that sense of finding the way home to self and sitting at the seat of the soul has been this beautiful journey. But it does take work. It does not happen because you make one choice, one decision. That's a choice, that's a decision. That's a beginning. That's a beginning, and it's also the ending. And so many things can happen from that place. Acknowledge it, look in, and really, truly start looking at your life in the way of where and how I'm not seeing the blessings or the opportunities and actions I can take to really step in to being the miracle in my life. Much love. Have a beautiful week, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.